everyone, Ellie here, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing updates that Star Stable needs. So I've compiled a list, I have it in front of me, of a lot of the SSO updates that I believe really need to be implemented into this game to not only make it better, but improve players' experience and add more depth to Star Stable in general. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I forgot to mention that while I am listing all of these, we will be training. So, if you are interested in training along with me, go ahead and play this video in the background, play it on your phone, and let's go ahead and start training. So, I'm going to go ahead and go to the festival to start training just because it gives like 800 XP this week, so I think that's really valuable and I'm trying to really soak up all the XP possible. I've literally been training every single day, you guys. It's kind of been insane. But with this XP that they've added, it's like giving me so much motivation to train my horses and be in the game. Okay, so the first SSO update that I believe we really need, and I know they're working on it, however, I think they've been telling us we were going to be getting new characters for the last like 2 years. And I'm pretty sure new characters were supposed to come out last year, but then they delayed it. And I remember being so excited for the end of the year. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting new characters. That's so exciting. And then they told us that they were delaying it further. And I was so sad. I still am really sad. I've been playing this game since 2013. And over the years, you know, as a kid, the graphics and the design didn't really bother me as much. But as I've grown up and played different games and then come back to this one, Star Stable really just doesn't match the quality of other online games, downloadable games, whatever it could be. And it's been 10 years, so they've had so much time to be able to update their characters. I'll show some pictures on the screen that I've found of the updates that I think they're doing. But yeah, so SSO characters, you know, they are working on these currently. It's just taking a really long time. But you know, we need updates on hair, body types. Everyone in this game, every character in this game, playable, you know, everyone's personal character, has the same body type. So it's not very inclusive if we all look like skinny legends, you know, like a lot of people are curvier, a lot of people are wider or thinner or muscular. You know, there's so many different body types out in the world, which is really important to it's really important to show those body types and be more inclusive. An array of skin colors, you know, ethnicities. And I think that they are implementing like a ton of different shades of skin, which I think is so amazing. And then genders. I don't know if they're implementing males and females and non-binaries and anything in between, but I think it would be incredibly smart of Star Stable to be more inclusive with genders. A lot of players in this game are non-binary or identify as something else, and I think that Star Stable, it would be a great choice of them to implement players who identify as that. I don't think it would harm the game. I don't think players would stop playing if there were different gender options. In fact, I think more people would play because you are your character. And if you're playing as your character, you want to feel like yourself. Yeah, it's a digital game, but a lot of people, you know, they love this game because, you know, they feel like they're their character. And if they're not being represented in the game as themselves, then it can be a little discouraging and they can feel left out. So I just think that all of those implementations would be very beneficial to Star Stable. And I really hope that these new characters, when they do get released, that it meets everyone's needs or the majority of everyone's needs. Let's see. Number 2. Customizable home stables. The first thing I wrote down was pastures to catch your horses in. So I feel like our home stables, I love them, I think they're great, but I think there could be more added to them, more depth, right? So, you know, you go into your home stable, maybe it's a plot of land for your stable as well. So, you enter a section of the map dedicated to every player, and when you enter that area, you see a barn in the distance and then a pasture where all of your horses that aren't in the stable are roaming. They're walking around, they're interacting with each other, they have personality. You can choose to go in the stable to take a horse out of the stall and ride, or you can go out into the pasture and catch a horse. Maybe you can tack it up outside so you don't have to fill up a spot in the stable, but you can tack it up outside, etc. Stable decor. So I think being able to customize our home stables with items would be really, really fun. It would feel more personable to be able to add decor items, maybe rearrange the outline of the interior of the stable to fit our personal needs. Okay, number 3, more mechanics. What I mean by that is I want more mechanics as in lunging horses. The only thing we really interact with our horses is feeding them, grooming them, petting them, and leading them. I think leading them with a halter and lead rope is a great addition that they did add. I think that is a fantastic step in the right direction, but they can go even further with that. I also think that horse personalities, we have idle animations for, I think rocks are supposed to be falling, but they're not loading in. I don't know. So horse personalities, every horse in this game has an idle animation, which I think does add personality to that specific breed. However, I think it would be really cool if Star Stable implemented a toggle of some kind or something where players can choose if the horse is more energetic or lazy, or maybe they are more prone to spook, maybe they're brave, stuff like that kind of personalizes that horse to be unique. Not just unique to the breed, but unique to their own model, their own body, if that makes any sense. I think that would be a great addition, and it would add more detail to this game, more personality. Number 4, weather changes. What if we had the option to make it rain in the game? That could also be a toggle option. Something in the settings that, if you wanted it, you're doing a roleplay, if you wanted it to rain during your roleplay that day, you could toggle on a raining ability. Or snow. When winter rolls around, you can choose whether you want snow on the ground, whether you want it to snow but you don't want snow on the ground. It's like more customization for the world itself. Number 5, breastplates and martingales. I love that now we have these new bridles with the flash noseband. I think that is a great step in the correct direction for adding more detail and options for tack in the game. However, I have been waiting for so long to add breastplates and martingales to the tack system. So if you don't know what a breastplate or a martingale is, I will put up some photos on the screen. They attach to the saddle. They add a bit more customization to the tack itself. A lot of what they're actually used for is making sure the saddle doesn't slide back as you're riding. A lot of eventers and jumpers will put them on their horses just to add a bit more security. Some people just like to put it on for show, just to add a bit more, addition to their tack. It's a helpful thing to keep the saddle from sliding, etc. So, I think it would be really cool if Star Stable implemented that. That would add so much more personality to our tack. Number 6, customizable horses. So we already have the ability to change the mane and tail, which I think is really great. However, our horses still look the same. So I think it would be really cool if we could customize the white markings on our horses. Some players don't want white markings at all, but if they have a certain color, like classy, if they want this color horse, but they don't like the white markings, they don't really have an option. They can't take away those white markings. They can't customize the different white markings on their horse. To be able to remove or add white markings would be really cool. That would make everyone's horses feel personable and have more character. It would also be really cool if we could change the mane and tail individually. I think on a few breeds this is an option. I can't remember which breed, but I have seen it before in game, but it's not implemented on all the horses. I think if this was implemented on every horse, that would be a lot more enjoyable. Alright, number 7. Carrying items. I just kind of thought of this one on a whim, but it would be really cool if our characters, if they wanted to go to Jorvik City or Dean's Plaza and do a shopping or roleplay or something, that we could carry purses or backpacks on our characters. Like I said, it adds a little bit more depth to the character and decoration. And I don't know, I think it would add just a little more realism to our characters. Number 8. Updating more areas. SSO has slowly been rolling these updates out. We've had Steve's farm, we've had Marley's farm, we've had... what else? We have had... oh gosh, I'm blanking on what other areas we've updated. I guess Starshine Ranch is an update. Silverglade Village is an update. But yeah, so they're slowly rolling out more updates for the areas of the maps. But I think personally that Dino Valley really needs an update. Right now, I don't even go into Dino Valley. It's annoying to go into Dino Valley. It's so far away. They did take away the cold tolerant horses, so you can ride whatever horse you want up there, which has its pros and cons. It does take a lot of realism out of that, but overall Dino Valley does not come up to par with other areas of the Jorvik map. The snow doesn't even look like snow. Why am I doing this? I don't need to do this, we're doing races. The snow doesn't even look like snow. The ice looks very weirdly textured. There's nothing to do up there other than archaeology, which I haven't even really touched since I unlocked it, and then I think there's a race up there. So they need to update that. They also need to update South Hoof. I think there's a lot of empty spaces on the map that I think they could implement either cute little places for characters to hang out, more pastures and paddocks, places for where role players can enjoy going. So to fill the empty space, I think would be beneficial. Number 9, lead changes. So right now our horses only have one lead. Okay, they kind of, depending on the breed, sometimes it's the right leg, sometimes it's the left. Okay, but when you are riding your horse, if you have ever ridden a horse, when you ask for a canter, you want to be on the correct lead. So for instance, I'm riding this direction. Right now, the left leg is leading more so than the right. Okay, you always want the inside leg leading. So right now I am on the incorrect lead. So it's uncomfortable to make a circle because it's just a much more bouncier. It's uncomfortable for the horse to have to make a circle when they're for instance, when the left leg is leading when it really should be the inside leg, it makes for a much easier circle. It also just looks really weird. So if we could implement lead changes, maybe we double tap the D key, for making a circle we double tap, then that instructs the horse to change their lead. So now I'm on the correct lead. I'm going the opposite direction. The inside leg is leading because the rail is on my right. And now I'm on the correct lead. So watch as I make a circle. It's much more comfortable for the horse. It makes sense. But when I go the other way, there's no option for me to change leads and make the horse more comfortable, even though they don't care if they're comfortable or not. But anyways, I just think that would be a great detail to add. A lot of horse games have that or are coming out with that implementation, and I think Star Stable should step up their game and add that as well. Number 9, no Jorvik's shilling limit. Why do we have it capped at, 10,000? I know it's mainly for the reason of they want people to also feel like they have to buy star coins because of that shilling cap. I feel like there shouldn't be a cap at all for the shilling amount that you have. Because once you buy something that's 9,099, whatever, you go down to 0, and you have to work your way up to getting more shillings. And getting shillings in the game takes a lot of time. Yeah, you can groom every horse in every stable. You can do side quests. You can sell items in your closet. However, it still takes a lot of time, and everything in this game has gotten much more expensive. That more players feel inclined to buy star coins because that's much easier and faster. Yeah, it might cost real money, but the pressure to buy star coins, it's much higher because everything for shillings has gotten much more expensive. Number 11, foals in the game. I don't know if they're eventually adding this. I feel like something might be in the works. But you know how we have the Foals app? I think it would be absolutely fantastic that, with our customizable stable, we also have our foals in the computer version of the game, not just the app version. Maybe we could transfer foals over once they are at a training part in their young life. Once they reach a certain training level as a foal, we're able to bring them onto our site of our stable. And from there, we do more training implementation. That's where, we can see them in game. We can do more training that's different from the Foals app with them, but on our computer or phone version of the game. Number 12, updated graphics and shaders. So there is a shader that you can download and have for this game. It's called Reshade. I personally have not downloaded it. It's kind of a hassle to download and make work on the game. People have posted videos on how to do it, but I'm not very tech savvy when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I'm choosing not to touch it because I feel like I will break something. But yeah, from what I've heard, Star Stable has run on a very old engine, or a gaming platform. Whatever makes the game go is a little outdated compared to what is available for developers now. I feel like changing and switching over to a different gaming engine would benefit Star Stable as a whole. They have updated their graphics over the years, which I think is great. I think that's a great step in the right direction. However, there's no shaders for this game. Everything looks very bland, and there doesn't seem to be much depth in the visual aspect of the game. Yes, it looks fantastic from 10 years ago, but there still could be much more detail to what the players see. Realistic jump for horses, or the ability to toggle that in settings. So, our horses jump incredibly high. Right? It does not look realistic whatsoever. In fact, it looks silly and a little bit stupid. Horses in real life, yes, they can jump that high, but to have every horse in the game have this strange, bizarre height of jumping ability, it just feels off. And it's been like this since the game first started. Our horses have had the ability to think. Okay, classy. Classy? Oh my gosh, that's another thing we need to fix. What the heck was that? That was a pebble, and I fell, and the game... Okay, now there are some angles, like right there on the hill, that looked a little bit more natural, but a lot of the jumping, it's too high. It's too unrealistic. If there was an ability to toggle the height at which your horse could jump, I think that would be so much fun. It would add realism for role players, and add just general realism to the game. It would add personality to the horse. Maybe your horse is a level 1 and you're doing a role play and it's a green horse and you're training it. They're not going to be able to jump at that height right away. Give me this flower moss, right? So it would add a lot of detail to the game and realism for those role players or for just players in general. So to have the ability to change your horse's jump height would be really awesome. Alright everyone, thank you guys so much for watching and hearing me out for my ideas that SSO needs. These are updates that I think would be incredibly valuable to the game, and not only that, but I think players would feel more inclined to want to play because of these really interesting additions. Star Stable has been around for over 10 years, well, for 10 years really, and over the course of those 10 years, the game has gotten better, but in the span of 10 years, they could have done more. They still can do more. I believe that Star Stable, if implementing these ideas, will become a more in-depth game and stay up to par with new horse games that are coming out. They have competition that's coming out. if they want to stay relevant and keep their players, adding these things will benefit them. It will not benefit them. Does that make sense? It's only green lights for them and their company. And it'll make their player base much more happier. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below your thoughts and your ideas. If you have any extra ideas you want to drop in the comments, that would be fantastic. Let's have a discussion. Let's see what other ideas we can come up with, because overall I think a lot of the players want to help make this game better, but Star Stable, it feels like a lot of the time we're not being listened. We're giving out all these great ideas. They're probably taking notes on them, but we're not really seeing much of a change. And even when we are seeing change, it's incredibly slow. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already and are interested in doing so. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!